I know a place where the river outshines the sun. Under its lake, beautiful place where the new day has begun. Beautiful home on the beautiful face of the mighty river. Stars shine bright, day and night. It's a beautiful day. Fire, water, oh, river of life. Fire, water, oh, river of fire. Fire, water, oh, river of life. Fire, water, nothing shines bright as the pure desire. Land overflowing with milk and honey, like the sweetest can be. Fire, water, oh, river of life. River of life. Fire, water, oh, river of fire. River of fire. Fire, water, oh, river of life. River of life. Fire, water, nothing shines bright as the pure desire. Fire, water, oh, river of life. River of life. Fire, water, oh, river of fire. River of fire. Fire, water, oh, river of life. River of life. Fire, water, nothing shines bright as the pure desire. La 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 la. La 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 la
Good rising and great awakening. And thank you for joining me this evening. Before I begin, I want to make sure that those of you who are on the call can hear me or see the slideshow. I haven't muted the calls, and if you could just give me a sign that you can hear me or see the slideshow.
I can hear you.
Awesome. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. Well, again, thank you for joining me tonight. We are continuing with our series on the Sekhmet Alignment. This is something that has just kind of come about from us being here together every week. We're in the sidereal month of Sekhmet, which is the HeruScopes sign of Sekhmet, which is sidereal Leo. Many people think we've already started Virgo, but in sidereal astrology, we're still in Leo for another 2 weeks. So we're going to continue on. The iconography here in this banner, on the left side, we have the image of Sekhmet from the pyramids or the temple inscriptions. And then on the right side, up the top, we have the iconography with Ma'at is standing behind Ra, and then behind her is Djehuty. And then below them, we have the image of HetHeru with the eye of HetHeru in her cow form. So we're going to be talking about this tonight. For those of you who are new to KemeTones, KemeTones is a system of sound healing, cosmic sound healing, which is based upon principles of acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine. We use tuning forks that are tuned to the planetary frequencies, acutonics tuning forks, and this system is similar to acupuncture, only we use the tuning forks instead of needles. Since each tuning fork is tuned to a different planet, they also correspond to the different cosmic forces of the universe, such as the HetHeru, the Orisha, and different indigenous archetypes. When I say the tuning forks are tuned to the planets, I mean according to Kepler's calculations, who we know studied in ancient Kemet. He's the Greek astronomer who determined the orbital motions of the planets and other celestial bodies. HeruScopes is a 13-month sidereal astrology system that's based on Kemetic archetypes, meaning the names for the planets from Kemet, the names for the constellations from Kemet, as opposed to the Greek. And then also with the sidereal system, the Babylonian astrology only covers 12 of the constellations along the ecliptic, and sidereal astrology includes the 13th constellation known as Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus symbolizes the healer and is the only constellation that is connected to the life of an actual human being, and that is the life of Hotep, who is the father of medicine. Even though they say Hippocrates is the father of medicine, we know that he also studied in ancient Kemet, and so that's why I call him the hypocrite. My name is Tchiya Amet. I'm originally from Chicago. I studied astronomy at the University of Texas in Austin, where I experienced sexual assault, dropped out, and became a reggae singer, homeschooling mother, soccer mom, organic food co-op producer, festival producer, reggae artist, cosmic sound healer, and also I'm adding counselor, wellness coach. I've been studying this sidereal astrology for over 25 years, and I've been practicing acutonics and cosmic sound healing for about 8 years, and KemeTones was birthed about 2 years ago. So that's me in a nutshell. And if at any time you have any questions, just speak out. I haven't muted the phone unless there's some feedback, or type in the chat room, or if you're listening in to the replay, send your questions to me at KemeTones on Facebook, or my email is cosmic@tchiya.com. So every KemeTones session begins with a HeruScopes analysis, and this is the HeruScopes analysis from a few weeks ago when the sun had first moved into Sekhmet, when I first started to notice this correspondence. So I wanted to be able to compare. You can see how the planets have moved around. Here you have the sun in Leo, of course, and Venus and Mercury are in Leo, and Jupiter had just moved into Virgo, and the moon was in Capricorn. And that's when I noticed this alignment here with Sekhmet being the sign of Leo, and the sun, or Ra, HetHeru, and Djehuty. They were all here in this constellation. I thought that was really exciting. And then the next week we got together, and only Ra and HetHeru were still in Sekhmet, and Mercury, or Djehuty, had moved into Aspholia with Jupiter, Piceus. And we talked a little bit then. We read from the story of HetHeru and Djehuty, because they had gotten apart. Here you can see HetHeru is apart from Djehuty, and so she has come completely into her Sekhmet form. And now this week, lo and behold, we've had some changes. HetHeru has moved back into Kepra, which means she has transformed back to her original self, her higher self. And Mars is also associated with Set and Sekhmet. Mars has come all the way around from Ophiuchus all the way back to Sekhmet. So we're dealing with some powerful energies here with HetHeru trying to get back to her normal self, and now even Set has come to Sekhmet to weigh us down even more. But fortunately, Djehuty has come back to our rescue, and I didn't put it on this slide here, but we've just entered into what's called the portal of Djehuty opening, or Mercury retrograde. So all of this is really in alignment with our studies in Sekhmet alignment. So I'm really excited about going into this. You know, when we talk about Mercury retrograde, usually it's thought of as a bad thing, and it's thought of as a negative thing. But when I started doing research on it and thinking about it, I realized it's a really positive thing, because Djehuty represents communication and wisdom and intelligence and information. And so to me, it represents an opening of communications, an opening of information that's like getting downloads, consistently downloads. Well, I didn't even see this alignment here we have going on between the planets in Sekhmet and the moon over in Ophiuchus in Hotep, and Heru over here on the other side. Looks like Heru is transitioning from Pisces to Aries, so we'll be talking about that in the next session. But anyway, back to this here with the portal of Djehuty. So rather than fearing your computer crashing, or you dropping your cell phone in the toilet, or not making any changes or signing any contracts, I say blow all of that out the water and dive right in. Make changes. Call the people you've had issues with for months. Sign the contracts now. This is an opening. This is a time for us to embrace and not to fear. And I have some web posts already written about this when I first came into this wisdom, and how we can use it to our benefit. I posted them in the study group and on the Facebook pages, and I'll send it out in the newsletter about the portal to Djehuty opening. And then how what's the word? Not synchronistic. Oh, I can't. Auspicious for us to be tuning into the Sekhmet energy, tuning into balancing the energies between HetHeru and Sekhmet, learning how to bring out Sekhmet when called for, and then bringing her back. The chant that came to me the last week, and the sound healing system, protocol system that came to me last week, was very encouraging for me personally. And I feel like this week I was still really battling with the Sekhmet, like she was just coming out when I didn't really want her to, or find out I was still really angry about some things, and so I had to, release that energy and vent. So I'm looking forward to this self-care session tonight, because I can see here the struggle that's going on with Venus that's in Cancer, which is about family, or Ketra is the scarab for transformation, and then Set and Sekhmet are in the sign of Sekhmet, which is like double ego, double too much fire, double, like cutting off somebody's head. Or I don't know if you got to see that cartoon that I shared from Steven Universe. It's a beautiful song. And in the story, this young girl who's been having this warrior training, she said she was at school, and this young boy that she didn't even know bumped into her, and without thinking, she shifted into warrior mode and flipped him, took him by the arm and flipped him and broke his arm. And she said she was so embarrassed that she just ran off, right? So that cartoon also was in alignment for me and really helped me. The song really helped me, and I really encourage you to check it out. If you can't find it, send me a note and I'll post it again. It's this cartoon about crystals that have a physical form, and they're all women, and they fuse and become superpowers, and it's just like incredible. But this particular episode, the song is really powerful, and it's the singer, the lead singer, is the Stone Garnet, and she's this vocalist from UK that Adele is copying. And, of course, I can't remember her name, but when you hear her voice, you'll recognize it. Okay, so that's my commentary on the astrology right now. It's really in alignment with our healing work. We've got the moon, which deals with our emotions and our personality over in Hotep. You know, we've got Saturn over there. So we're learning how to break beyond boundaries with our healing. And next week we'll be focusing on HetHeru over here. So I'm all inspired by this astrology reading, and I hope this makes sense to you. If anytime you have any questions, just stop me, or I check the chat room consistently, like I'm checking it right now. So anytime, just, you know, hey, I have a question, and I'll do my best to answer. Okay, so here are the next do for the session. We have, let's see, phone's about to die. But, yeah, we got some time for the song. But I did forget my sistrum, so I'm going to run into the room and get it. I'll be right back. Right, because what's a goddess without her system? Okay, so I have the lyrics here, and it's supposed to be call and response. So if at any time you are, you know, moved to join me, please do so. Like I said, it's supposed to be call and response, and sometimes I go too fast, but I don't mean to. Let's see, where is the other? Oh, man, I need to have a self-care day on Nebet Het when it's time to clean my house. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to go through a few of them. And then I should put the camera on. No, I want you to see the words, so we'll just leave it up here. Djehuty, 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 Kepra. Djehuty, 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 Kepra. Djehuty, 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 Kepra. Djehuty, 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 Kepra. Adoration to Ra, adoration to Ra, adoration to Ra, in the form of the Creator. You know, usually we do the chants 4 times, 1 for each direction. Sometimes we do 7 times because we do the 4 directions and then above and below and within. But usually when we're like in a hurry, we just do 4. I hate to be in a hurry, but I have to be mindful of the clock, you know. So I'm going to pass on this HetHeru chant because we're going to do that one again. I'll do another HetHeru chant in a few minutes. So we'll go right to the Djehuty one. So whenever you see the term Nukpu, that means I am. So you could say Nukpu HetHeru, Nukpu Ra, Nukpu Djehuty, you know, Nukpu Ma'at. Whenever you are invoking that cosmic force within you or within your life, you know, you just take that position. I don't want to say assume the position because we don't assume, but we want to claim that. You want to claim that energy or that power. You say Nukpu, okay? So we're going to say Dua Djehuty and Nukpu Djehuty. I guess those of you on the phone can't see the lyrics, but you could do your best to repeat after me. Dua Djehuty. Dua Djehuty. Dua Djehuty. Dua Djehuty. Dua, 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 dua Djehuty. Dua, 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 dua Djehuty. 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 Yes, we give adoration to Djehuty, and then we acknowledge the cosmic force within us, and we state that I am Djehuty. All right, so here's the iconography for Sekhmet and some of the chants that we've done for Sekhmet. We're going to pass on those because we have one particularly for this alignment that we're going to do. And then here's this other chant for HetHeru, the goddess HetHeru, performed as the cow with the sacred eye, and then also as the goddess, the priestess HetHeru in her human form. And now for the new song that we have. Let's see if I can get that camera up. There we go. Okay. Oh, I don't think it'll let me do the camera. Okay, well, let me do this other camera. And so I have the lyrics for this song if you care to join me at any time. So here I have an image of HetHeru in her human form, human goddess form, and then Sekhmet, and then HetHeru in her seeing eye form. See if I can bring this so that we can have all three. There you go. A little better. Okay. So yeah, so to me this represents the process that I'm taking myself to learn to go through, starting off with HetHeru, and bringing out Sekhmet, and then being able to go back to HetHeru. So that's what this chant means for me, and I hope that it go back. Greetings. I'm not sure what happened. Oh my. Lots of video. Okay. Let's see if this will work. Yeah, sorry about that. And let's make sure you can see the screen share. No, it can't. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. I got bumped from the meeting. But I'm coming back. And we're going to try it like this. Okay. All right. Yeah. I think it's not. I'm not able to use the actual system camera, but if I use this one, it works better. Okay. All right. And plus, it's probably just too much power for the system. They can't handle all these goddesses up on the screen at one time. So I've been singing this song a lot all week. It has a different melody sometimes, but and again, if you can, can repeat after me, please do. I'm going to do my best to leave space. Okay. Oh wait, that makes it too loud. Let me try it this way. Tchiya HetHeru, Tchiya Sekhmet. Tchiya HetHeru. 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 Tchiya HetHeru. Tchiya HetHeru. Tchiya HetHeru. Yes, thanks. So that's what's been working for me is before I was trying to shift back and forth between HetHeru and Sekhmet, and that wasn't enough. The formula that's working for me is to start with HetHeru, then bring out Sekhmet, and then go back to HetHeru. So I hope that helps you somehow. I don't know if it makes any sense to you, but it makes a lot of sense to me. And so that's what I'm doing. Okay. So what is next? Okay, so next we're going to shift into the listening to the teachings. And these are teachings that that have been brought forth to us from the Temple of Shatout Neter, Temple of Aset, by my teacher, Dr. Mwada Ashby and Dr. Karen Ashby. And we'll be studying from one of his books called The Glorious Light Meditation. This is the oldest meditation system in history. It was codified on the pyramids, on the text, in the papyri, and it's inspired meditation practices from all over the world. And last week we did a reading of the story of HetHeru and Djehuty, which is the Venus and Mercury. And it tells how HetHeru was sent to Earth by Ra to eliminate the ignorant and unrighteous. And she was very good at it, and somewhere along the way she decided to stay in her Sekhmet form. And so Djehuty was sent to bring her back. And this is the image from the book, with the myth of HetHeru and Djehuty, the Glorious Light Meditation. Here's the goddess HetHeru in her form of a woman, and Djehuty in his two forms as the ibis, the bird, the head of the ibis bird, and a baboon. And remember, this doesn't mean that a man and an iris or a human and an ibis made it and gave birth to this creature. It just means that this is a being, a light being, that has the qualities and characteristics and skills of the ibis bird. And we could go for hours talking about that. But instead, we are going to transition now to the book. And here we go. See if I can make this bigger. A little bigger. Okay. Part 2, a gloss on the story of HetHeru and Djehuty. What is enlightenment? Enlightenment is the ultimate discovery of life. Who am I? Why am I here? What can I do to experience glory, peace, contentment, joy, and immortality in life and the hereafter? What are the 5 steps to enlightenment? In the ancient Egyptian scripture of HetHeru and Djehuty, 5 principles are set forth by the ancient Egyptian sages. These principles are designed to lead a human being to spiritual enlightenment. They are ignorance, the spiritual preceptor, the wisdom of self-knowledge, ma'at, and meditation. Control of the mind. The body belongs to the earth, and the soul belongs to heaven. This is an ancient Kemetic proverb. The goal of Sema, or the yoga practice, Sema means union, or unity with the Most High, which is yoga. It's not just postures in this type of practice. Postures is a big part of it, but it's more than the postures. The goal of the Sema practice is to calm the movements of the mind, because when the mind is calm, it is only then that the true nature of self can be known. Uh-oh, I'm missing something. Uh-oh. The buttons went ahead, or I lost my place. There we go. Like something. I think I made the page too big, and now I can't see the whole page. Oh, just as the bottom of the lake can be seen when the silt settles out of the water. The mind is not the essence of a human being, but only a tool used by a human being. Its functions are memory, imagination, intellectualization, or cognizing, and sleep. These functions are based on mental impressions gathered from previous actions, and they operate through the 3 states of lucidity, agitation, and dullness. Now, we can use acutonics and KemeTones to help you move through these phases. The functions of the mind leave impressions in the unconscious. We can use the sound healing to eliminate toxic impressions. When there are too many impressions of individuality and not enough impressions of one's true nature, a person has fallen into delusion and ignorance of self. When the soul comes into physical existence, it needs the mind in order to interact with the world. If it gets caught up in the mind and its functions and forgets itself, it is said to be in the state of ignorance. It is caught up in the cycle of karmic entanglement. Impressions of experiences cause desires, desires cause worldly thoughts, thoughts cause actions, and these actions leave new worldly impressions to fuel the process all over again, indefinitely, even impelling the soul to reincarnate again and again, perpetuating the delusion. So the process means controlling the actions, thoughts, and desires so as to promote new impressions of ma'at, truth, and thereby a cleansing of the mind, which will lead to desires of truth, thoughts of truth, and actions of truth, mental purity, and spiritual enlightenment, that is, knowing the true self. With KemeTones, we use the protocol of the 3 treasures, where we put the tuning forks on the womb chakra, the heart chakra, and the first eye, because our first eye is our thoughts, our heart chakra is our desires, and our actions in the womb chakra, creativity chakra, has to do with our purpose and our actions, what we're here to do in life. So it all ties together. Okay, the next section is called The Philosophy of Mind and the Goddess HetHeru. I didn't check to see how long this section is, so we'll go as long as we can. In a text from the temple at Deir al-Medina, HetHeru is referred to as having the same divine attributes as Heru. She is described as the Golden One and the Queen of the Gods, her shrines being even more numerous than those of Heru. HetHeru, or HetHeru, meaning the house of Heru, and the house above, or the sky, became identified, like Heru, with the salvation of the initiate. In the Egyptian book of Coming Forth by Day, She is the one who urges the initiate to do battle with his monster, with the monster Apep. Apep is chaos, so as not to lose his or her heart as she cries out, "Take your armor." So we see here, we see a HetHeru that is pushing us to pick up the armor and the shield and bring forth Sekhmet. So I never noticed that before. I just thought, it was just something else. But it's actually HetHeru who is urging us to do battle with our ego or unrighteousness. In a separate papyrus, the initiate is told that she, HetHeru, is the one who will make your face perfect among the gods. She will open your eyes so that you may see every day. She will make your legs able to walk with ease in the underworld. Her name is HetHeru, Lady of Amenta. HetHeru represents the power of Ra, the Supreme Spirit. Therefore, associating with her implies coming into contact with the boundless source of energy which sustains the universe. Making contact with HetHeru implies the development of inner willpower, which engenders clarity of vision to discern what is righteous from what is unrighteous. A mind which is constantly distracted and beset with fetters, such as anger, hatred, greed, conceit, covetousness, lust, selfishness, etc., cannot discern the optimal course in life. It becomes weak-willed because the negative emotions and feelings drain the mental energy. Thus, unrighteous actions and sinful thoughts arise, and the weak mind cannot resist them. Unrighteous actions lead to adverse situations, and adverse situations lead to pain and sorrow in life. See Resurrecting Osiris and Egyptian Tantra Yoga for more on HetHeru in the teachings of Egyptian Tantra Yoga. See how long this section is. Yeah, it looks like this section is kind of long. So, is that the end? Yeah, this section is pretty long, so we're not going to cover the whole thing, obviously. We'll focus on HetHeru, and then we'll switch over to that part, the healing power of Djehuty. Yeah, that sounds good to me. HetHeru as the Eye of Ra. There are several ancient Egyptian myths relating to the eye. One tells that the eye left Ra and went into creation and was lost. Ra, the divine self, sent Djehuty wisdom to find the eye, the individual soul, and bring it back. It was through the magic, the wisdom teachings of the god Djehuty that the eye realized who it was and agreed to return to Ra. Upon its return, however, it found that Ra had replaced it with another. In order to pacify it, Ra had placed it on its brow in the form of a Uraean serpent, where it could rule the world. One variation to the story holds that the eye left Ra and went to Nubia in the form of a lioness, HetHeru, in her aspect as destroyer of evil and unrighteousness. When Ra heard this, he sent the Nubian god and Djehuty, the Nubian god Arihim's-Nefer, a form of Shu, and Djehuty to bring the eye back. They took the form of the baboon and soon found the eye near the mountain of the sunrise where Asar was born. The eye refused to leave because it learned to enjoy its new existence. This sounds like the Lion King. It was destroying those who had committed sins, plotted against Ra while on earth. Because even in the Lion King, Djehuty is represented by the baboon. Anyway, you get the idea. The eye was sent to bring back HetHeru. I'll see if I can somehow post this. Here we go. HetHeru as a metaphor. HetHeru represents the predicament of human life. From a state of unity with the divine, she becomes degraded to the point of forgetting her true identity. She engages in violent acts and lives out of the lower nature and base desires, known as the dullness of mind. The more a person separates from their essential nature, the more a person slides downward into egoism and the lower aspects of mind. Okay. I'm going to move forward to the healing aspect of Djehuty, and then we'll get on to our healing program. Important, the healing power of Djehuty. The healing power of Djehuty consists in the liberating vision that results from the wisdom teaching and culminates in restoring the condition of the I, the human consciousness, to its state before the impurities, ignorance about the higher self, anger, hatred, greed, lust came in. Here we have the image of Djehuty restoring HetHeru, the Uwajit, the I, which Set had blinded. Just Djehuty speaks. And remember, we've just entered into the portal of Djehuty opening. That's why we're having these readings going on right now. And we're going to connect this to the tuning forks when we do our healing session. And, I know not all of you have these tuning forks, but this healing power is going out, and all of you are benefiting. And I'm hoping that it's encouraging you to pick up your shield and pick up your studying and study KemeTones so that you can also carry this healing power in your tool bag. Thus Djehuty speaks. I came seeking the eye of Heru, that I might bring it back and count it. I found it. Now it is complete, counted and sound, so that it can flame up to the sky and glow above and below. The name for the eye of Heru may be pronounced as Wajat, Ujat, or Uchat, meaning the whole or restored one, and also that which protects. Djehuty restores the eye through writings which bring wisdom, right thinking, right acting, and these lead to freedom from stress and mental imbalance. Freedom from stress allows the energy of the spirit to course freely through the mind, body, and enlightenment. Okay, one last thing. Djehuty is an ibis, a wading bird. Wading birds have a special capacity to move through water and probe for specific items they desire with their long beaks. The world is the ocean of consciousness, and Djehuty is the aspect of the mind that can navigate through the world with healthy reasoning, figure, and intuition. I like that. Okay, so if I haven't completely bored you with all of these readings are very important. Let's go on with our sound healing session. So you see how this myth of HetHeru and Djehuty is very meaningful and significant for KemeTones, especially at this time of year, since that's actually what is being reflected to us in the planet. So obviously, we are meant to study this and meant to be here. Okay. So we're going to transition now into the self-care segment of the program. I don't know why my dog is barking so much. I did feed her dinner. I remember to feed her dinner before the webinar started. So I don't know. It was her birthday yesterday, so maybe she's expecting a cake. I don't know. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go over this. Last week, it came through me, that beautiful song, and then also this, what I'm calling the Sekhmet Alignment, where you cycle through the tuning forks from HetHeru to Sekhmet, Djehuty to HetHeru. And if you don't have the tuning forks, remember you can use your crystals. You can use toning. You can use Raseki. You can use visualization. You can use the tuning forks that you have. For HetHeru, you could use the Earth fork, the Earth Day, the green fork, because that's associated with Taurus and Venus. For Sekhmet, you can use the Sun for the fiery wisdom and the constellation of Leo, for burning away illusion and ignorance. For Djehuty, you can use the full moon, because Djehuty is associated with the full moon. Tchiya is associated with the new moon. And then back to HetHeru with the Earth fork. So you can use whatever tools that you have. Just keep in mind the Neteru, the cosmic forces that we're working with. Keep in mind the teachings of the story of HetHeru and Djehuty. And then also in your life, your daily life, when you're maybe struggling with the Sekhmet energy, remember that it's the wisdom teaching that is what helps bring us back. Just remember the teachings, even if you don't have them around you to grab it and read it, or you don't have the book of Proverbs or something. Just remember, Djehuty, remember the teachings. And even maybe that alone is enough to bring you back. I know when I was studying Buddhism, they would say that when you get below the higher levels of consciousness, the higher chakras, just grab a piece of literature, grab a scripture, grab a magazine about Buddhism. Any study, any teaching will raise your consciousness, will elevate you back to a higher state of consciousness, to your God or goddess consciousness. And then also we have these healing tools like the tuning forks. So we have everything that we need around us. It's just a matter of having the consciousness and the awareness. Okay, so this is our outline for the Sekhmet alignment. And I have shifted it a little bit for our session tonight because the planet shifted a little bit as well. Nothing remains stagnant in the universe. It's always growing and shifting and moving and changing, because it's so powerful and so amazing. Okay, here we go. And then I don't know if you can see there behind me. Oh, maybe I sit this way you can see the Sekhmet altar. It's going to have the statue of Sekhmet and the candles there. So I don't know if you saw my little video yesterday. Mondays are blue days, and then Tuesdays are red days or pink days, because pink is a higher vibration of red. So Tuesdays are red days for Sekhmet and the Mars energy. Okay, so we have the Sekhmet alignment where we cycle through the tuning forks of representing HetHeru, Sekhmet, Djehuty, and HetHeru again. And since this week we were talking about Djehuty and opening up the eyes, the first eye, and HetHeru restoring vision, we're going to work with our first eye and pineal glands a lot, and use those tuning forks. Oh, and also we just entered into the new moon. I think either it's just about to come or we just left. I forgot to double check, but I know we just, by that chart, it looks like we just left. So we'll do a little bit with the new moon forks. Jupiter is still in Virgo, and Heru, we'll save those for next week because we're going to be studying Heru next week. I think today we're mostly going to be working on the first eye. Okay, so I'm going to take off these handheld glasses. And the pyramid here is like, right in my way. I'm going to sit this way. Yeah, that'll work. But I don't want to knock it down. It's 7 feet tall. Nice. So again, we always start with grounding. And this is a tight fit. I don't know. Show everything. There we go. Start on the feet. And start on the ankle and the ball of the foot. the grounding. The Om fork. The Om fork represents the vibration associated with the Earth going around the Sun in 1 year. And we usually leave the tuning forks in place until they stop vibrating. Like, you might not even hear them anymore. You just feel them. And remember, when we're doing this type of work, we follow the direction of the natural energy flow, and it spirals upward, meaning removing toxins and blockages, and counterclockwise direction, and then spiraling downward in a clockwise direction for creating flow or manifesting. And I don't know if I can get the camera to be big enough to hold me in. Okay. All right. So we're going to start just opening up on the womb chakra, the creativity chakra, and the heart chakra, grounding. I'm pretty excited today. I have on this beautiful pink T-shirt with all this Kemetic artwork. This belonged to my my grandmother. I was given it after she passed away. Someone gave it to me. It's beautiful. And then I have on pink pants that match it perfectly that belong to my mother. I've never worn them together today, so it's kind of exciting. I never noticed that they matched perfectly and all that. Okay. So usually when we open up things, we start with Shasheta for the new moon and Anpu, removing blocks. Or we can start with Neptune, Nebuchadnezzar, and Anpu. But today, since it's a new moon, we're going to start with these forks. So we start on the womb chakra again, heart chakra, and the first eye. This is just the 3 treasures. I usually start with the 3 treasures as habit. And then leave 1 fork on the womb chakra and 1 on the heart chakra, and 1 on the heart chakra and 1 on the first eye. And then the root chakra, heart chakra, eye. It's known as the 3 treasures. Like I mentioned before, aligning your mind or your thoughts with your desires or your heart and your actions or your purpose. So when we move up, we're eliminating any blocks. And then later on, when we do the high frequency, we bring down to create what we want. Okay? Okay, so now let's move into the forks for the week, the Sekhmet Alignment. So I'm just going to do that for the 3 treasures. There's Venus, Mars, and Djehuty. Okay? And you could use the Sun for Sekhmet or Mars. I think sometimes I like to do both. Okay. I'm going to start on the womb chakra again. Heart chakra. Heart chakra, first eye. And the womb chakra next to the first eye. So that's Venus, or HetHeru and Sekhmet. So now put down the HetHeru fork, pick up the Djehuty fork, and do the same thing. Womb chakra, heart chakra, first eye. And then womb chakra, first eye. The idea is we're introducing the wisdom teaching, right? And I change hands. Now we're going to go back to Djehuty and HetHeru. Now we're going to move forward to Djehuty and HetHeru. Womb chakra, heart chakra, first eye. Womb chakra, heart chakra, first eye. So now cycle through those cosmic forces. The idea is that is what is that is the Sekhmet alignment. Yeah, I've been doing it a lot this week. I really like it. And then of course you can alternate the sun for Sekhmet. But right now Mars is in the sign of Sekhmet, so I decided to use Mars. All right. Anything else? Nope, I'm going to focus now on opening the first eye, the eyes, and the pineal gland, and the mind. Last week we worked a lot on the throat because we wanted to be able to express. I wanted to be able to bring it out. This week we're working on remaining aware of who we are, remaining aware of our God state, our goddess state throughout everything, even when the roof collapses, or when you get a flat tire, or when you get an unexpected bell, or something silly, stupid like that, something that's not even real. Okay, so let's go. We're always opening. So I'm using the big fork now, opening the first eye and pineal gland, opening up that channel. There's a connection, you could say a beam of light or energy between the first eye and the pineal gland. Some people say the pineal gland is the first eye, but the wisdom teachings that I have taught, have seen, say it's back here, that space in the back of your head. I don't know if you can see it. It's not like the cushion, the kitchen. It's right where your skull occurs, caves in, or whatever. And when Europeans first started doing autopsies and things like that, when they were working on themselves, the pineal gland was always calcified, covered with this white chalky substance, so they thought it had no function, and so they would just cut it out. But then when they started dealing with the Africans and the melanated people that they were capturing and enslaving and killing and torturing and stealing their body organs, they discovered that in melanated people, the pineal gland is like vibrant, it's pulsing, it's full of energy, and it's like crucial to our life. And so now they like go through all these changes, try to reduce the calcification. All right, so kind of the same process, but let's see, what do I want to do? I want to deal with illumination this time, so we're going to definitely use the sun or Sekhmet on this one. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to start right out with Sekhmet because I really wanted to, I just want more clarity with that. With using my Sekhmet energy and not being afraid of my own power, Yeah, that's pretty much it. Not being afraid of my own power. And the pineal gland. Ooh. Why is it I set my eye flashing all of a sudden? Do you see that? I don't know. But okay, I will definitely highlight you and make sure that I do something about this because it was flashing. It's gonna let me do a background. I'm just having fun right now. Shadows. Let's see. Oops. Nope. Nope. Enough fancy stuff. For some reason, it was flashing. I don't know if anybody else saw it, but I saw it. So, okay. I think I was here. Yes. So illuminating the consciousness so that I can bring forth my Sekhmet energy with clarity and without fear, without hesitation. You know, like in the story of HeRu earlier, you know, Aset cuts off the head of Set, and then she feels guilty about it, puts it back, you know, and then HeRu got really mad at her or something like that. But being able to do it and then not feel guilty about it, being able to say what needs to be said, and you know, not make apologies. Yeah, that's what that was about. And then we're going to go to this one. HetHeru. After I'm done, you know, not feeling guilty about it, just come back to my normal state of consciousness without any apology. Ooh. Yeah, that feels good. Do that one again. Yeah, like just before I came on, somebody from Ethiopia sent me a photograph that was inappropriate. It was, you know, like porn. And at first I was gonna like report him right away, and I said, well, no, let me find out. Maybe his account's been hacked. You know, he's from Ethiopia, his brother, right? So I write to him, and I'm like, did you send me this picture on purpose? Why did you send me this picture? Who are you? I'm about to report you. He says, no, don't report me. And then he says, nice picture. And then he says his account wasn't hacked, and he didn't know what I was talking about. So I'm going to report him. But I gave him a chance. Some spam, something or other. But at least I didn't report him right away. You know, I gave him a chance. So I'm happy about that. Okay. Looking at the clock. Okay. All right. So the Aset Ma'at was flashing. I'm not really ready to go to that part yet, but I will because she was flashing. I don't know. For Aset Ma'at, we have these two of the goddess forks. They're actually asteroid forks, but AST asteroid. Haha. So, you know, I'm just gonna look on my eye position this time. New plan. And then I'll revisit these tones at the end of the session. I don't know why it was flashing. I set my Okay. All right, so now we're going to go to the extraordinary vessels. And I'll stick with these. I have two choices, Yang Kiao and Ren, or Yin Kiao and Yang Kiao. Okay. Here's some water. I kind of think I want to do the Chong today instead of the, I'm going to do Chong and Ren. Yeah, because Chan goes around and Ren goes up and down. How's that? And they're both female. Okay, so yeah, I have my chart here. Even though I know them by heart, I still check because I don't like to make mistakes. I don't know what that's all about. From my childhood. Okay, so I'm gonna keep working with these forks. Sekhmet Alignment. Now, if someone was coming in for a session, I would do all three frequencies. I'd start with the low frequency, then channel into the mid frequency, then the high frequency. But for this, this self-care, I'm just going to do I'm going to do some of the low and some of the mid-range. I'm going to start with the low. So I'll do the Ren first, and we'll start on the left hand and end on the right foot. Oh, so if you come and take the KemeTones certification training, you'll learn some of these techniques. You can pick them up here on the self-care webinar, but if you wanted to start working on clients, I'd advise you to come and take the training, because these techniques are usually reserved for practitioners, but I'm teaching them to you for self-care because they really work. So then you do the Venus, start with Venus and end with Sekhmet, and then put down the Venus fork, switch hands, and pick up Djehuty. Okay. So then you put this one on the hand and Djehuty on the foot. That's what I mean by cycling. And then go back to HetHeru. And I'm going to end with, I set my eye. Where did she go? I don't know why it was flashing. Oh, that's pretty sparkling in the camera there. Okay. Then we'll switch feet, or switch sides. And this time I'm going to use the middle range fork and switch sides. And then switch to the Chan. I don't know if you can see that because of the, there you go. Alright. That one's on the inside of the hand. And like the, not the ball of the foot, but the bone by the ball of the foot. Right there. Right. It's very challenging sometimes doing these self-care positions, but they can be done. Can't see my hand. There you go. Do that one again. It's challenging, like I say, but it's worked. I know it's working on me. There's no KemeTones practitioners anywhere in California right now. I have to work on myself. Okay, I'm going to put down Venus fork, switch hands, and pick up Djehuty again. Cycling through the cosmic forces. And we're mirroring the same steps that HetHeru takes in the story, in the myth. Just one more time. Yeah, I can feel this energy here. Alright. So we put down the sun fork, change hands, and get the HetHeru work again. There we go. All right. And then, by special request, I set my eyes. Okay. Now we'll finish up with the high frequency forks. We're going to bring the energy down to manifest and create our intention. So I'm going to start with Anpu and Nevidhet. Nevidhet creates the order and maintains the order of the house. And Anpu, our sun, is discernment. Helps us to know the difference between the real and the unreal. Okay. Venus and the Sun. Sekhmet, HetHeru. This is a powerful combination right here. Keeping balance. And control. Being able to control our power. And then also other energy for Sekhmet. We have Mars and Sekhmet right now. And we're going to throw in both of these, Mars and the Sun. And then Djehuty. And of course, ending with HetHeru. So we just cycle through the cosmic forces. We're in alignment with what's going on in the planet. We're in alignment with the teachings from the HetHeru. Bringing our body into harmony and alignment through cosmic sound. All right. And then we end with some grounding so I don't float away. It's funny, usually after these sessions I just have to like take a nap because I get so much energy and downloads that I like meditate or I just lay down and rest. It's really something. It's like when you eat a heavy meal, you have to let it digest. I get heavy downloads and I have to let them digest. That's the best way I could explain it. All right. That is our grounding. see if there's any questions in the chat room. Not at the moment. Okay. And we'll continue. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to speak out. I'm very happy that you're here. Okay, so just reviewing our Sekhmet alignment, where we rotate or cycle through the tones associated with HetHeru, Sekhmet, Djehuty, HetHeru. We learned the song also that reflects the same process. And we had some chants for Djehuty and Ra as well. We worked on the first eye and the pineal glands. We had some work with Mars and Venus, Mercury and the Sun. Did a little bit for the new moon. We're going to save the Heru for next week. We had Aset and Ma'at flashing at me on the screen here. I don't know if you all saw it, but it was kind of funny. And then the extraordinary vessels, I changed it up a little bit. Maybe I better make a note. I did Ren and Cham. Okay. All right. So I'm very grateful for these protocols that came through unexpectedly. These sessions are, you know, impromptu, spontaneous. I never know what is actually going to happen or how it's going to come out. I get the astrology chart and then I just go with it. So I'm very grateful for this process that came through. And I'm looking forward to, you know, working on people with it and my work and just seeing what we can do with it. It seems to me very powerful. So what's coming up next? Well, Reggae Wellness is an ongoing movement. Right now we are looking for people who want to be involved in our next event in July in Jamaica on July 22nd. But in the meantime, we have things going on with the website. We have a new blog, and we're reaching out to meet different healers in different parts of the world that want to help put on a Reggae Wellness event in their area, because this is a touring event. It's not just a festival once a year. We want it to be ongoing. And KemeTones is a huge part of this. And anyone who is a KemeTones practitioner can be part of the Reggae Wellness team. You can get a booth. You can be part of my booth. You can be one of the healers, volunteers. You can have your own booth. You can be a presenter of your workshop. You can get ads in our publications. And over the next few months, we're going to be going over these principles of Reggae Wellness, how if we can work on these principles in our lives, we can bring about Reggae Wellness. And so it's a very powerful work. We're going to be having Reggae Wellness coaching for people who are ready to make changes in their lives, in their diet, their finances, relationships, everything. And it's not just me or my partner, Lenny Ice. Anybody who wants to be on the team can get involved in all this wonderful wellness. And speaking of KemeTones practitioners, the next KemeTones Level 1 certification and retreat is in Portland, Jamaica, January 8th through 16th in the year 2017. We have 5 days of training and one-on-one practice on the other students. And then we have 2 days at the Rebel Salute Reggae Festival, where you can be one of the volunteers at the booth, get your first practice working on other people. And it's very likely that the Kasha Roots Band, the band that I'm in, is going to be performing at Rebel Salute, so it'll be really exciting. Tomorrow night is the preview webinar for the retreat, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific, here at the same place at freeconferencecall.com/cosmic4. So, you know, please share this information with any of your friends or colleagues, if you know anybody that's interested in sound healing, they might be interested in becoming a KemeTones practitioner. And in the future, you know, we want to do more work helping the KemeTones healers get their own business going. So that's also available. And then here's a beautiful image. Let's see if I can get the water. Oh, wait, not that. There's a spot here. There we go. Here's the Blue Lagoon. Just a few minutes up the road from the Blue Lagoons where we'll be staying. And that water is so inviting, let me tell you. There's a beautiful pool over to the right where it's just crystal clear spring water. It's very cold, and it's nice to go back and forth between the two pools. And like I say, we're just a few minutes from the Blue Lagoon where we'll be staying. It's a few minutes hike from the Winifred Beach. It's a little drive to the Blue Lagoon. And then we'll have our a driver if you want to go into town for anything, or it's $1. The taxi ride to town is just $1. So it's a beautiful location. Okay, so if there aren't any other questions, there haven't been any questions or comments, let me check the chat room one more time. If you have any questions or comments, this is the time. Otherwise, we're going to transition into our meditation. Look at my crystal pyramid. And chimes. I didn't have the chime set up yet, so give me a moment. Get in the chimes. And maybe my dog will quiet a little bit. I'll close the window. We don't need Anpu right now. Let's see. I got the Sun, Mercury, and there we go. Okay. All right, so I'd like to invite you to get into a comfortable seated position, either on the floor in the lotus posture with your legs crossed, or sitting in a chair with your feet firmly planted on the ground, or you could even lie down on your back if you're so inclined. That's a challenge because you might get so relaxed you'll fall asleep, which is perfectly fine. Okay. So let's take a few deep breaths together. When we inhale, slowly and deeply, allowing the abdominal area to expand, to fill with fresh seconds. And continue to breathe in, bringing the energy all the way up to the crown chakra, to the top of your head. Hold it for a moment. And then exhale, slowly bringing the energy back down, allowing the abdominal area to collapse, almost touching your spine. Again, inhale up. When we're inhaling up, we're eliminating toxins and negativity and negative thoughts. And when we exhale, bringing the energy down, our awareness down, we're manifesting our intentions and our desires. Okay, now return to normal breathing. Slowly relax. And I want you to take a moment to look at this imagery here on the screen if you're able. I want you to visualize you when we're inhaling and the air and the prana is going upward. You're breathing in the breath of HetHeru. And when you exhale downward, the energy of Sekhmet. And here on the screen I have a beautiful waterfall. The water is pouring into a pool of water, an ocean, a river. And then the other imagery is a fire blazing. So if you could just get that imagery and lock it into your mind and slowly close your eyes. And when you inhale, visualize the cool water of HetHeru, the coolness, the healing, the guidance consciousness. And then when you get to your crown chakra, hold it for a moment and visualize the Sekhmet energy, fire blazing as you exhale. Sekhmet, eliminating ignorance, eliminating unrighteousness, creating sacred space, purity. Inhale again the breath of HetHeru, the cool, soothing, healing, the beauty path, the knowing path. And exhale the fire of Sekhmet. So at your own pace, just inhale HetHeru and exhale Sekhmet. Inhale HetHeru, exhale Sekhmet. At your own pace for a few rounds. Inhale HetHeru, exhale Sekhmet. All right, now you've got the energy flowing between HetHeru and Sekhmet. Inhale HetHeru, exhale Sekhmet. Inhale HetHeru, exhale Sekhmet. And on your next inhalation, I invite you to bring in the energy of Djehuty, the wisdom teaching, the writing, the proverbs, the wisdom of the ancestors. So it's inhale HetHeru, exhale Sekhmet. Inhale Djehuty, and exhale HetHeru. Inhale HetHeru, exhale Sekhmet. Inhale Djehuty, exhale HetHeru. Inhale HetHeru, the goddess consciousness. Exhale Sekhmet, the purifying life force energy, eliminating toxins and righteousness, creating sacred space of purity. Inhale Djehuty. Inhale the wisdom of the ancients that restores us to our goddess consciousness, our God consciousness. Exhale HetHeru. Right at your own pace, I'd like you to visualize and do this breathing meditation at your own pace for a few rounds. Slowly open your eyes. Gaze upon the water. Gaze upon the fire and flame. And I hope this little meditation resonates with you and it assists you and empowers you in the coming weeks of this portal of Djehuty opening, the last few weeks with these planets aligned in Sekhmet. Om Hotep, 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 Hotep. Peace, 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 peace. Hotep. This will conclude our session for the evening. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. And I look forward to connecting with you in the future. Do up for your comments. And for those of you listening in on the replay, please leave your comments at the KemeTones Self-Care event page or the KemeTones Workout study page. And I hope to see you tomorrow evening on the KemeTones Certification Retreat Preview. And tell your friends. Once again, I'm Tchiya Amet with KemeTones Cosmic Sound Healing. And it's an honor and a blessing and a pleasure to be here with you. Ciao.